Attorneys, just go for it.
Welcome back to another episode of Training for Trial with Robert Graff of GraffStandard.com, the creator of the consulting program called Training for Trial. So, Rob, just go for it. What are we talking about in this episode?
Well, the best thing to do to help your client in the courtroom is being yourself and being confident. Well, and that's why the client hired you in the first place. So now's the time to just go and do it. Be yourself. Be confident.
Get it done, right? So we always like to break this down into 3 kind of takeaway bullet points. So what are those for this episode, Rob?
Well, you're going to be nervous, and that's okay. Number 2 is getting a poker face. And number 3 is only you know whether you did a good job or not.
Excellent. All right, so let's talk about the fact that, yeah, obviously nervousness is kind of part of the game, but a lot of people don't know that in the beginning. So tell me about that.
Well, it's okay to be nervous simply because you're new to this, and it's a little bit of adrenaline. You're excited. Whether you're excited, whether you're anxious, they kind of run along the same lines there. So it's the same type of, I guess, hormones or whatever they are. I'm not a scientist that work. So you're going to have those same feelings when you are showing up to court for any new hearing, for the first time, for whatever it is, for a new client. It's okay. It's going to happen. So maybe nervous is the wrong word, but you're going to have some form of apprehension or some form of feeling in your gut, and it's about accepting that that's going to be there, and turning it around so that it gives you the confidence to go forward. So rather than being nervous, see it as actual confidence for yourself.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right about it, Rob, because I mean the thing is the difference between anxiety and butterflies is actually your interpretation of it. It's physiologically the exact same thing, and this is the difference between somebody who has experience versus doesn't, is that in the beginning you're not just anxious, but you're anxious that you're anxious. Right. What a veteran knows is that they're supposed to be anxious, and that's part of, as you said, that's the adrenaline. That's getting your game face on. That's getting amped up to kind of go and do the work. And if you talk to just about anyone, whether it's in sports, whether it's in public speaking, whether it's in acting, they all tell you that that never goes away. In fact, they'd be worried that they were going to have a terrible performance if they didn't feel that adrenaline rush. But they're not anxious about being anxious. They understand that they're now just ready to go out and do it.
And let's face it. If you have no emotion, if you're just cold and there's nothing there, you're probably dead. So
yeah, you're gonna have, at the very least, you're gonna have a very flat performance. And how well are you gonna represent your client?
How compelling are you gonna be?
Exactly. You need that energy in order to engage and get that empathy going and get some passion into your argument. So it's all good stuff, but you have to be able to be comfortable with it. And so absolutely. So bullet point number 1, you're going to be nervous, and you just have to be okay with that. You have to be that's a normal part of the procedure.
Exactly.
So let's move on then to the part that allows you to work with that in part, which is you got to get literally your game face on or get your poker face on. So how do you do that? How do you develop that? And I hope you've been enjoying this conversation that Rob and I have been having, but the rest of this conversation lives inside Rob's site. So come over to GraffStandard.com and look for the Training for Trial button. Just click that button. It's a free membership. Not only do you get this entire episode, but a depth of content. Rob has been creating tons of great information. It's all there in the Training for Trial section. So go to GraffStandard.com right now and click the Training for Trial button.